The Mission Report is a presentation of Homefront Cybercast Broadcasting, brought to you by Homefront Cyber Support and Security. Tech support, security, and protection is their mission. Homefront Cybercast Broadcasting presents The Mission Report, where we talk about whatever the hell we want.
He was all naked and raring to go.
Well, as long as it's legal. Welcome to the Homefront Cybercast Broadcasting Mission Report, Episode 4. We made it to the next one again after the last report on the truck crash in Danville, Pennsylvania that let loose those CDC monkeys, which were later euthanized. Yeah, but we got another good one coming up here tonight. We got a cooking series segment on the way, and we're going to be talking about some cybersecurity in the show tonight. But first, we got a follow-up. We got a follow-up to the truck crash that resulted in at least 3 CDC monkeys escaping in Danville, PA a few weeks ago. There's an investigation ongoing. PETA's involved. And, yeah, we got a few articles that have been released since then. Only a few. It's mostly silent. Not a whole lot of new information coming out, but we do have some interesting news here. So let me bring that up here on the screen, if I can get that up here. Yeah, this is one of the articles that came out about a week ago. The airline that flew the monkeys involved in the Danville crash ends the monkey lab shipments. How many times does something like that happen? So this is an interesting development. So yeah, I'm going to read this verbatim. The Kenya Airways, which has transported hundreds of monkeys from a Mauritius breeding farm to the U.S. to be used in laboratory experiments, has committed to ending this practice after its current contract expires next month. All right? The airline's decision comes just 24 hours after PETA contacted CEO Alan Kilavuka and Chair Michael Joseph, urging them to consider what monkeys subjected to the long flight and then torment and death in laboratories endure. The monkeys, whose crates spilled out onto a Pennsylvania highway last Friday, which, if you remember, we talked about that. The crates were just like all over the road. And then 3 monkeys, I guess it's just like bam, and then the crates exploded and the monkeys just took off, probably scared shitless, and literally shit and urine all over the road, which, it's just total craziness. So all that followed the truck crash. They were flown on a Kenya Airways plane that had landed at the John F. Kennedy International Airport earlier that day. Destination still unknown, okay? We have no idea where these monkeys were headed. That's still an undisclosed location, according to the CDC. They can't release that information for whatever reason. They claim it's a private location, but whatever the case may be. We have no idea still to this day where they were headed. PETA says they thank Mr. Kilavuka and Mr. Joseph, and they're relieved and happy that Kenya Airways is washing its hands of this bloody business. We agree with that. Monkeys are complex beings whose most basic needs, home, family, and community, aren't met in laboratories, says PETA Vice President Dr. Alkashana. Kenya Airways' decision is important for all of us because the global transportation of monkeys also risks the possibility of emerging infectious diseases. Yes. Remember the articles that said conspiracy theories were evolving? Yeah. All right. Just throw that shit right out the window. Anytime somebody says something like that, they just don't want you asking questions. But anyway, that practice is ending. We think that is a good thing. So that's a good thing to start off this particular mission report. So let's get right into it. We've got another cooking series here, and we are cooking up some venison stew in this week's mission report. Welcome back to the Homefront Cybercast Kitchen, and welcome to another cooking episode. We got a good one again here. We got a Hopi recipe this time, and it's stewed venison with all kinds of good veggies and all kinds of good stuff. Now, I just have to say that we did say that we wanted to do this one outdoors over a campfire, but we got a big nor'easter coming up here, and it's a little windy out there, so I decided I really didn't want to light myself on fire, so we decided to do it in the home front cybercast kitchen. But anyway, let's get cooking. Let's go over the ingredients of the recipe. We have, of course, the venison steak chunks, which I'm going to slice up into smaller pieces because I like my stew meat to be not as large as this. So we'll get them all sliced up. We've got 2 potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes. We've got 1 turnip. We've got 1 onion, about medium size. About 1.5 cups of carrots that we're going to slice up. Some celery and some chili peppers. We chose poblano and cubanelle. Should give us a good mix there. A little bit hot and a little bit of less spicy, but that should give us a little bit of flavor here. For the recipe, we also have, for seasonings, we have about 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. And it's not in the recipe, but it's always a good idea. I like to always add a little bit of smoked salt to what we do. And I also added some corn, which is in some of the Hopi stew recipes, and it's not in some of the other ones. It's not in this recipe, but I'm a big corn guy. I like corn in my stew, so we're just going to throw that in there. And we're still staying with Native American traditions. So let's get going. Let's get chopping the venison. And once we get the venison all chopped up, the recipe also calls for a 1/2 cup of flour. So we're going to coat the venison in the flour. To make it easier, I like to put the flour in a plastic bag and we'll shake it up. Yeah, like that Taylor Swift song. Shake it up, shake it up. Yeah, probably shouldn't have tried that. Not a real good interpretation. Alright, let's give that one more shake before we get going here. Yeah, we'll wash this off. Okay, well, we got the venison in the flour. We're going to take a little bit of sunflower oil and put it in our pan here. Heat that up, because that's where the meat's going to go, and that's where we're also going to pre-cook some of our sliced vegetables here. Next, we're going to take the onion. Let's get that all sliced up. Celery. Carrots. Potatoes, recipe says 1/2 inch cubes, so we'll try to get as close to that as we can. Turnip. We want to dice this, similar to what you did with the tater. And then I always save the chilies for last, because of course you have to wash everything up. So the chilies, I always do the chilies last. And I'm always looking for an easy way, you know, to de-seed these bad boys. So let's see if we can, yeah, see, if you have a method to de-seed these that is really, really easy, let me know, because I'm always having trouble with that. So maybe that's the easy way. Just grab them and go. These are poblanos, so it's not like it's a habanero or anything where you're going to burn your face off while you're cutting them. Get these seeds out of there. If you don't like all that heat, you can use just cubanelles, or if you don't like any heat, you can just use a sweet bell pepper or something like that. And if you don't like even the heat of a poblano, you can use 2 cubanelles, or you can use hotter chilies if you like the heat. If you don't like any heat, you can use a bell. Doesn't really matter. It's your stew. You can alter the recipe however you like. But we're good with poblanos, so we're going to stick with them. Alright, so we got the peppers all diced up there. Let's give this a quick rinse and dry off. Now we can start cooking. So give your venison another good shake. Make sure you got all that flour covering all your chunks. And then I like to dump them all in a bowl here. They're good. Check your skillet. See how that sounds. Just drop some flour in there, and if it sizzles, we're good to go. So then you just want to take your venison chunks, and you just want to get them in there. And we want to brown these. I like to see them slightly charred before we get them into the stew pot. And it might take a good 5 minutes just to get them brown to where we want to see them. Once you have it cooked through and you get a little bit of char and it's done to your liking, then you can just get these into your pot. And then we're going to add just a little bit more oil because we're going to throw some veggies in here. So in goes the onions, the celery, and our peppers. And we're going to cook these in here until the onions become transparent, and then we'll get them in the pot. Alright, we're looking good. We can get these in the pot. So again, when the onions are translucent, you can then get these into the pot. If you're using cast iron, make sure you get yourself a towel or something to grab a hold of the handle, because she is going to be smoking hot. And we can turn that burner off and stir this up a little bit. Now we're going to add the water, 4 cups of water to our pot. The oregano, 1 tablespoonful of oregano. And it's at this point, if you do want to add some salt, it's not in the recipe, but you can add some salt. If you want to do some salt seasoning, I'm using smoked salt, so we'll put a little bit in there. So we'll bring this to a boil, then we'll turn it down to low, let it simmer for about 2 hours. At the 1 hour mark, we'll add our corn. At the 2 hour mark, we'll add our carrots, potatoes, and turnips, and we will cook them until they're done, and then we're ready to eat. All right, let's check this out. We are at the 1 hour mark. I'm gonna give it a stir here. Oh, she's smelling good. Oh boy, oh, that smells so good. So I'm gonna add the corn at the 1 hour mark. Give that a chance to cook for about an hour, and then at the 2 hour mark, like I said, we will put the rest of the veggies in there, and we're getting close to this delicious smelling Hopi venison stew. This is going to be awesome. We have hit the 2-hour mark, and it's time to put the last of the veggies in. Let's get these carrots in. Let's get the taters in. Turnips in. Stir these bad boys around. Now, if you don't have enough liquid in there, you can always add a little bit more water. If the liquid is too watery for you, you want to thicken it up, you can put some flour in. Our flour of choice is corn flour. But we're looking pretty good here. We'll check back in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we're getting close to dinner time. Oh, this is going to be good. Hey, I'm loving these Native American recipes, which are all gluten-free, by the way, and the flavors are amazing. It's good food, which the Native Americans consider medicine. I mean, I've actually seen some, Native Americans in different recipes and also in some interviews say that food is medicine. And hey, it makes sense. It's healthy and it's delicious. No doubt about that. Our next cooking series segment will feature some Northeast Native American pumpkin soup, which is made from pumpkins we harvested during the 2021 growing season. And spring is just around the corner. It's coming, okay? And even though that damn groundhog saw a shadow predicting 6 more weeks of winter, I personally think he was drunk or something, but that's just me. But hey, spring is coming. I can't wait to get out in the garden, get tilling, get planted, get some veggies going. I can't wait for the first summer thunderstorm. I can't wait to take my first shower in the first thunderstorm. Hold on a second. Did I really say that? Yeah, that's something we're going to need on the mission report. No, I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, I don't want to be banned here or anything. But I'm ready for spring, and we've got some more cooking series. We've got some more seed starting videos coming up very, very shortly because we're getting ready to start our peppers and some other things for the 2022 growing season. So that's all coming up. But let's talk about some interesting happenings that have been happening at Homefront Cyber Support and Security. We had a little bit of a cyber security thing happen today that we were kind of chuckling about and things like that. But let me bring this email up that we got today. I mean, this just happened today. This is kind of crazy. First of all, you can tell it's in some kind of foreign language here. But the thing that got me really excited was, if you see here, 1 million USD. Okay. Like for a COVID-19 lottery. And I was like all excited. I'm like, oh my God, we just hit the flipping lottery. We're $1 million. We're rich. Holy cow. And then my wife comes in and she just busted my balls and she says, hey, you got to stop right there. You got to stop right there and you got to check out the Homefront Cyber Support and Security best practices documents. Did you forget about all that stuff? And I'm like, yeah, okay, let me just check this out. You just got to make me depressed and all that stuff. We do have them here. We have the home user best practices and things like that. And yeah, it teaches you how to check out an email, make sure it's legit or if it's totally fake. And yeah, sure enough, it was fake. But I had to have some fun with this. So I bring up Google Translate here. This is great. You say you take all this stuff in there, you just punch it in there. And so here's what the email says. Congratulations. The Euro COVID-19 lottery team is pleased to officially announce you as the third prize winner in the $1 million draw sponsored by the European Union and Google. Congratulations. Euro COVID-19 lottery will make all necessary arrangements to ensure you receive your prize. Okay, please contact your clerk or representative immediately to avoid delays. Hey, I don't want no delays getting my $1 million. Give me that shit right now. I want that. I'm out of here, man. As soon as I get that check, I'm gone. You can reach them by email at, and there's the email, or by phone at the phone number below. And they even give you a security code here. Your security code there's a security code. U.S. federal and state laws require that your security code and pricing information be kept strictly confidential. This means, and here we are broadcasting it. This means that you are not allowed to talk about your win with third parties, such as family members, friends, and relatives. Uh-oh. We're in trouble now. The COVID police are coming to get us. This is to prevent illegal manipulation and reduce the risk of fraud and scams. You got to love this. You got to love these criminals. Okay? All right. So once we have verified your identity and security code, we will transfer your winnings to your nominated bank account immediately. All right? Yeah. Okay. And then it tells us who our clerk is. So that was the interesting happening here today at Homefront Cyber Support and Security, and we kind of like had a chuckle. But, yeah, everybody's breaking my balls. It's not real. So I'm sorry, no $1 million. But you know what? I think it'd be kind of cool, like, to start messing with these people, like send them an email back and say, hey, I'll take this $1 million, but I got some demands first. All right. Actually, I will come over there. I will come claim my $1 million COVID-19 lottery in person. Okay. But I got a few demands. All right. First, all right, I want to be in a first class. I want first class tickets on an airline. All right. And I want to be put in the first class, one of those first class that has that big circle bar. All right. I want top shelf scotch, baby. I'm talking about the best stuff you can get. All right. So I want that. And the only flying companion I want on this plane is Tom Cruise. All right. Because this guy says, number one, that he doesn't drink. All right. And number two, that he doesn't fly inside the plane. He flies outside the plane. All right. Now, I know what everybody's thinking out there. They're thinking, this guy's crazy. How does he know that Tom Cruise doesn't drink? And how does he know all this stuff about Tom Cruise? Well, the internet told me so. All right.
Hey, cheers to his boss. How cool is this?
1, I don't drink. 2, I fly on the side of the plane, outside.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
So there it is. Now you know I'm telling the truth, okay? So, if I get those demands, I get all the scotch I want. I'm going to be tuned up by the time I get my $1 million lottery. And I'm telling you what, I will be living the high life, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have more cyber tips coming up in the future on future episodes of the Mission Report, which will include and this is a very serious episode that we'll be doing in the near future. We'll be including our report on online child exploitation and how to protect children online. And that's one you don't want to miss. It's going to be a good episode, a lot of good information for parents and some other things for teachers, whatever the case may be. If you're a caregiver, it's something you definitely want to check out. There's a lot of things you may not know, and it's just going to be a good episode. The Mission Report is brought to you by Homefront Cyber Support and Security. Tech support, security, and protection is their mission, and it's presented by Homefront Cybercast Broadcasting. Another episode is in the bag, baby. Remember, stay healthy, keep rocking, and always remember, if it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing. We'll see you soon.
This is your captain speaking. We've been cleared for departure.
Mission complete.
The Mission Report is a presentation of Homefront Cybercast Broadcasting, brought to you by Homefront Cyber Support and Security. Tech support, security, and protection is their mission.